Yeah, before we actually start up with Aloy's Awakening, I just want to kind of finish off a couple odds and ends with Chronicles of Teddy here. I was curious about a couple things, so I went back and loaded up the game again to sort of check them out. So, yeah, basically, I was curious about the whole New Game Plus mode because it, based on just the way the achievement, like I said during the playthrough, there's achievements for like New Game Plus and New Game Plus 2 and New Game Plus 6. Gives it makes it sound like it's like a Dark Souls-y type system here, which is basically what it is actually. So yeah, if I go and continue here, this is my new file that I've started up in New Game Plus mode. And basically what you're going to see here is, yeah, it's kind of similar to that Dark Souls 2 style New Game Plus, like I was talking about, at least as far as I can tell. Or you don't, yeah, you get to keep some things, but not all things. Like you see here, yeah, I actually keep my gems from the first, or my rupees, or marbles they're called, that's right. I get to keep all my marbles from the first playthrough, and I get to keep all my equipment, but, or all of my, sword and armor and ring and those things, but that's basically it. I don't keep any of my heart containers, I don't keep any of my special abilities, or even the musicom, or any of the runes associated with that. So this isn't like a sequence breaking, like see what kind of cool stuff you can do type of New Game Plus. It's, yeah, New Game Plus where you have basically all of your end game combat strength that you had at the end of your first playthrough, except obviously not your heart containers, which is kind of your main source of strength in terms of just gameplay. And so yeah, basically this is what I found is that this is essentially hard mode right here. Like enemies do a bunch more damage, and there's a bunch more enemies that weren't there the first time through, at least as far as I remember. Maybe you guys can point me straight if I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure I only played through this first area here, and we're not going to do a full playthrough or anything. I'm just going to go through just for a little bit here just to demonstrate what New Game Plus is all about. But yeah, it's basically you just go through the game again, you get to keep your sword and armor and ring, and you lose everything else, and there's a bunch more enemies who hit a lot harder this time. That's basically the gimmick here, as far as I can tell. And yeah, I am like absolutely positive that this frickin' guy was not here our first time through the game. So yeah, right there I can already tell that something's not right here. I mean, I guess the other thing you get to keep is, yeah, you get to keep your marbles, which is weird because with all of your equipment still intact, there's not really anything worthwhile to buy in the shop. Or I guess other than, yeah, I guess your health upgrades, which you will probably want in short order with the increased damage from enemies. Like, yeah, this guy wasn't here before. And yeah, he does 1.5 hearts of damage, and he takes 2 hits to kill, even with the Master Sword. So yeah, I think it was a mistake, probably, to switch in, or I made a copy of my other save file before I started up New Game Plus. So if I did decide I want to come back to this, I would probably go and do like a 100% playthrough of the first new game, just to make sure I have all my equipment and stuff, because we never did get all those fairies and find that final overalls upgrade, which would probably help us on the New Game Plus playthrough right here. That guy was definitely not there the first time around. Yeah, frankly, I don't think there were any enemies. I remember commenting like how empty it seemed on the first playthrough. And yeah, sure enough, here we've got all kinds of enemies, which, and I'm curious to see if like they'll just increase the health and the damage of the enemies on subsequent New Game Pluses, or if it's what am I saying here? Or if they'll actually continue adding like new and tougher enemies to the map every single time you run through a New Game Plus. It's I'm kind of curious, but that's probably the sort of thing I'd look up in a YouTube video rather than try to find out for myself. Although I don't know, I'm curious also how much more quickly I could finish the game now that I sort of know what it's all about and know where to go and what to do. And yeah, I think this is actually pretty much the end of the introductory area. When I did my little sort of test playthrough, first checking out New Game Plus here, I actually died on this little run-up to the castle here. It was just like this, not in this area, but on one of the earlier eyeballs. But yeah, these guys really tripped me up. So you really got to be... Like, combat seems like it could be more of a thing here with the enemies, like even the smaller enemies taking more hits. You kind of have to be a little bit more cautious with your momentum, rather than just swinging away with the sword and expecting them to die instantly. Alright, so here's this jackass again. I don't think that there's... But the one thing I'm curious of is to see if... So what, we got 1672? I think that's enough for the first heart piece. But yeah, that's pretty much... yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about just kind of how much I dislike the way they implemented New Game Plus here. It seems like it's more just a hard mode. Like I thought the combat in like the first run of New Game in this game was a bit lackluster. It would have been a bit nice to have more action, more challenge in the combat department, other than the janky bits of bullshit. Like the bad parts of challenge on the first run through. And yeah, it's so far it seems pretty reasonable. Like I almost wish that it could have been like this on the first run, just like a few more enemies, a little bit of enemies taking a few more hits, a little bit more challenge in the early bits of the game. That seems to be a popular thing in game design. It's just like the thing where you have to run through the game once to unlock harder difficulty settings. And it's like, what the fuck? What if I find the default difficulty setting too easy? What if I want to, like, do the hard mode run the first time? Get, like, the maximal, most fun experience I can have out of that first run? Because I don't necessarily... Like, that's this game right here. Maybe the hard mode would have been a bit more fun for me. Which, frankly, it probably wouldn't have. This game's problems run far deeper than just difficulty settings. Or the lack of challenge in the regular combat throughout the stages. Oh, we do have... Okay, so is this because I missed it the first time around and now I have the chance to upgrade it in New Game Plus, or is this like a New Game Plus only item right here? There's actually an achievement for getting the last pair of overalls, so maybe we'll just play this just long enough to farm up that extra bit of money. To get this, I don't know, we need like another 600, maybe we don't. But yeah, I will go through into this first area. But yeah, it's just like, I find that with almost any game that I've seen do this, where it's like, oh, the first run was too easy, now we get hard mode. Okay, but I don't want to play through the game a second time because it was kind of boring the first time. It's like, I don't want to play the boring game to get to the fun game. I had that problem with Rocket Knight, like the Xbox, like the new Rocket Knight game that was on Xbox. It's like the fun way to play that game was in Gold Sparkster. I mean, the game was fun to begin with. It wasn't a huge problem. I recommend Sparkster even on normal mode. But to unlock like the hardest difficulty setting, Gold Sparkster mode, you needed to beat the game on normal. And it also had some other dumb system where you like have to get secret hits on the boss or something like that. There were like secret ways to damage each boss that you had to do in order to stay on hard mode your first time through the game. And then you have to beat the game on hard mode to unlock Gold Sparkster mode, which is basically like super hard mode. And super hard mode is like where it's at. That's the most fun and challenging way to play the game. And you don't get to... And for me, it was like I didn't get to play on that mode until like the third or fourth time I played the game, because the first time through, I messed up one of the boss challenges, so it kicked me out of hard mode. And then the second time through, I finally beat it on hard mode because I didn't screw up the stupid boss special hit thing. And then finally on the third time through, I got to play the game in like the way that was sort of optimally tailored to my sort of level of skill, the way that I like to play it. Because even hard mode, I thought in Rocket Knight was too easy. It just seems like a bad thing. Like why lock harder difficulty? Oh, they're adding spikes and shit too. Oh shit. Okay, this is pretty cool. I actually kind of like this. And yeah, wouldn't this have been interesting to play? How different would it be if we had played through the game this way the first time around? These actually seem like reasonably well-placed enemies, too. Like, I don't know, just gives us like a few more excuses to swing our sword around And I liked swinging my sword around in this game. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I might have had a little bit more fun in these early bits of the game, which were fun enough already, don't get me wrong. Oh, right, we don't actually have swimming ability just yet. So yeah, just another, I don't know, kind of boneheaded... I can't really call it an amateurish design decision like some of the other things I criticized the game about, because even professional games do this shit a lot of the time, where you gotta play through on normal to unlock hard mode, even if you want to play hard the first time. It's like, no, let me pick the difficulty I want and get like an experience that's sort of gets me my optimal level of enjoyment the first time through, so I don't have to, because I'm not necessarily going to play your stupid game twice just to be able to play it the way that I want to. Yeah, especially with, yeah, something as simple as difficulty. Like, people bitch about more games should have easy modes. I think more games should have hard modes too, and certainly every game that has a hard mode should have it unlocked right off the bat. It's worse for some games than others. Like, some games I don't mind it, like if I'm shitty at a game and I don't want to play on the super hard mode. Like, that was the way it was with Doom. Like, Doom, I think. Like, the new Doom. Like, Doom 2016, I think that came out in. Like, that game had unlockable difficulty settings, but I was fine with that, because the hardest not unlockable difficulty setting was too hard for me anyways. I played that one on the second highest difficulty my first time through. Anyways, I'm just kind of rambling and bitching about difficulty settings here, so we can just save this up and exit out. I just wanted to show this off and rant a little bit about difficulty settings in games, but we're not quite done with Chronicles of Teddy just yet. The other thing I wanted to show off right here was, so yeah, I said originally, oh, the plan is going to be to play the original Finding Teddy, see what that was all about, just go on a little Teddy, just like a full playthrough of the Teddy saga. And we're not going to end up doing that. I did actually download and install Finding Teddy. This is really loud. Forgot to adjust the volume levels, and it doesn't... Okay, there, now we're in windowed mode. How's this showing up on the stream? There we go. That's what we want. Okay, we want to go to the volume mixer. That is... Okay, yeah, just doing a little bit of live jiggering of the sound and whatnot. Okay, there we go. So this is the original Finding Teddy. The game that I was originally decided, oh, let's go stream this after Chronicles of Teddy. What you'll find out here is, first thing off is, that really pissed me off, is there's no gamepad controls at all in this game. So it's like, what the hell? Even more amateurish bullshit. Like, I know this is their earlier game, but, you know, whatever. This is where it all started. They sort of built from this came Chronicles of Teddy. This was their first effort, and then they moved on to something sort of bigger, better, grander, more epic in Chronicles of Teddy. But it turns out that this game doesn't have keyboard controls either. This is a mouse-driven game, as it turns out. So we start up a new game here. And I thought it was like, oh, maybe they're like that amateurish that they couldn't put keyboard or gamepad controls in the menu. Yeah, we see the spider guy there taking our teddy bear. And yeah, you see, I don't remember what the main character's name is. I don't even know if we ever learned it. She looks very different in this game. More of like kind of a goth, emo, yeah, kind of kid here. And then, yeah, she's just kind of looking around. Click, 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 click. Nothing fucking happens. What you need to do is you need to click on the edge of the screen here, and that's the way she sort of moves around. And so, yes, what this actually... So this game here this is not a Zelda-esque, yeah, sort of run around and stab things and solve puzzles, action-adventure type game. Yeah, the original Finding Teddy is actually a point-and-click adventure game, which is the reason why I'm not going to play it, because I can't stand point-and-click adventure games. That is probably my least favorite, my most hated genre of games in existence. I cannot stand point-and-click adventure games, but I clicked around a little bit here, just enough to sort of see the first little bits of the game, and it was kind of amusing. So your first obstacle right here is this big blob guy. Seems to be sleeping or something. Let's go say hi to him. Hi there! And, oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, my! Oh. I was blabbing about vorophilia on Twitter a while back, and then you get a achievement for that too that I've already got. I think it was called Blobbed or something like that. This is oh yeah, and you can double click to have your character run along a little bit faster. Weirdly enough, when you click outside the window, it doesn't pause the sound and the action of the game. So yeah, I'm free to just click outside the window and check on the stream health anytime I want. Okay, so we got that fruit there. Then now we got these frogs. Nothing I can do or interact with them in any way. So yeah, we'll just move on. This is kind of the thing I hate about point-and-click adventure games, is that you don't know what you can point and click on half the time, so you just like spam clicks around the screen until you find that magic pixel. It's like, oh, this is the random part of background. This is the random background scenery looking object that I need to pick up right here. Okay, so we offer this guy the fruit. And the thing is, okay, we need to actually shift around our shit here, because I don't normally have my mouse on hand. I push my mouse aside, because that's where my microphone goes. My microphone goes where my mouse normally sits, and I just don't use the mouse when I'm streaming. Okay, so we cleared our first obstacle here. Oh, there's a little hidden doorway there. Almost didn't see that my first time when I was kind of test playing this game a little bit. Alright, I don't know, is this like a super short game? Maybe we can just do like a full playthrough of this. Okay, let's chat to this guy. He doesn't seem as... okay. I was gonna say he doesn't seem as threatening as the last guy, but then I think the achievement you get for that one is Monstered. Yeah, Monstered is what you get there. Oh, and actually, those are like little rune symbols, like in Chronicles of Teddy. Oh, there's a little rune in the background there, too. Okay. Maybe the crying guy wants a bottle for some reason? Yeah, might as well give it a shot. Is there anything we can do with that? I hear, like, 8-bitty sound effects, but I don't know what to do about it, so we're just moving on. Yeah, that there. You got, like, the T-R-A... I don't know, I don't think... or, yeah, there's an S there. I don't know what these are supposed to be. The ambient noise isn't too appealing either. Okay, he wasn't into that bottle, I guess. Bottle is not this guy's problem. Maybe it's that silly hat he's wearing. But yeah, I don't think I want to play this. Oh, hey there, Saturn Meteor. I just wanted to... no, this is... yeah, this is actually Finding Teddy. I haven't actually started Alba's Awakening yet. I'm just kind of cleaning up some odds and ends on Finding Teddy and explaining why I'm not playing this game that I'm playing right now. Because the original plan was to... like, I finished Chronicles of Teddy, and we were going to go back and play the first game, Finding Teddy. But it turns out that Finding Teddy is a point-and-click adventure game, and I hate point-and-click adventure games, so we are not playing this. I just loaded it up just to show it off and just show and explain why I'm not going to be playing this right away. In fact, yeah, I think I'm done with this now. We can close this up if I can figure out how. Can you even save in this? So 0 out of 15. I'm guessing that's like 15 things we need to do to finish the game. I don't know. Are they even charging money for this thing? This seems like extremely simplistic. I'm just really curious now, because I got this as part of a bundle. So I don't know if they're actually charging money for this thing. Finding Teddy is... oh my god. This is like $8 Canadian. Jesus. Yeah, the revival of point and click. Yeah, no thanks. So yeah, I'm super not into Finding Teddy, sadly. Oops, no, return. We want to exit? Or I guess they just expect you to hit the... like, what if I'm in full screen mode, though? Like, if I'm in full screen, how do I exit? Oh, you just hit escape on the title screen. Okay, good enough. But, yeah. So that was Finding Teddy, and that's the last of the The Teddy Saga exhibition right there. So, oh, my camera's like zoomed out more. Or I guess we're done with this template anyways. Anyways, yeah, moving on to Alwa.